UPN's Moesha came at a pivotal point in television, following and leading the likes of network sister shows like Sister Sister, Girlfriends, and of course, The Parkers. Starring a teenaged Brandy Norwood as Moesha, the show follows the life of Moesha, her semi-strict father, and her friends Kim and Niecy, played by Countess Vaughn and Shar Jackson. The series was applauded for being a comfort show, showing a black teenage girl living her day-to-day life in a dramatic yet non-dramatized way. But despite her innocent persona, drama would follow leading Lady Brandy off the set and into the streets. Now, I don't know about Moesha and Kim, but Countess and Brandy apparently had beef despite their on-screen friendship goals that'll last over a decade. On-set tension between the co-stars had ensued. One thing led to another. One accused the other of being jealous. The equivalent of a female dog was being tossed around like a hot potato, and the media made sure to shake things harder than an earthquake in California. With Kim ultimately getting her own spin-off series, The Parkers, this made people speculate the off-screen relationship between the on-screen BFFs even more. There is no doubt tension showed her behind on set, but was it as severe as people made it seem? Or was this just another case of beef created and exploited by the media? Moesha's run on UPN lasted for a total of 5 seasons, from 1996 to 2001. And during its peak, viewers had the opportunity to witness Moesha Mitchell's life unfold with her closest friend Kim Parker by her side. Kim's comedic, witty, and charismatic character meshed well with Moesha's mellow and calm demeanor, and the two were inseparable, up until Kim's abrupt absence during the show's 4th season. If you're old enough to remember the days of Brandy Norwood's supremacy, then you can recall when Brandy was deemed a teen sensation, cultivating the highest-rated show on UPN during its 1st season. Aside from Moesha, she was also casted by Whitney Houston herself in the live adaptation of Cinderella, and branched out from her acting chops by taking over the music scene with hits like I Wanna Be Down, Baby, and more. Being given the heavy title of the vocal Bible at an early age is surely a standard that isn't easy to live up to. But Brandy made her teen stardom days look easy. Although friendly banter is common in any industry, the girls, aka Brandy, Countess, and Shar, engaged in friendly banter on screen. They, more so Countess and Brandy, were doing a little more than that when the cameras weren't rolling. It's been reported that the two were seen constantly bickering with each other, as many teen friends do, but it got to a point where tension between the two grew and fingers were pointed at the other. Brandy became so fed up that she'd end up pulling strings behind the scenes, taking away Countess's Moesha bag, giving her the boot. Allegedly. But before I jump the gun, let's rewind it back to an interview Brandy did with Vibe magazine in 1998. In the interview, rumors about the alleged beef were asked, and Brandy pretty much confirmed that her and sister girl Countess, in fact, did have some sort of issue. She said that she felt as though Countess wanted to be in the position she was in, going on to say that people told Countess that she was the reason why Moesha was so successful, and even told Brandy the same rhetoric to her face. Brandy went on to say that she recalled the time when Countess called her a bee and had the whole set clutching their invisible pearls. Okay, maybe she didn't say all of that, but many people were around at the time of the incident. She said, "I'm the reason the show is successful, B," in front of a lot of people. And I looked at her like, wow. I couldn't say anything about her because I wasn't about to. She knows. She wakes up and looks at herself in the mirror and gets disgusted. I don't. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I sensed a pint of shade in that last sentence. In the same interview, Brandy insisted that Countess was indeed talented and funny, but felt as though she wanted the main character role of Moesha. Given Countess's background roots as a singer, winning Star Search a total of 6 times, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to suspect that maybe some type of tension came about. On the other hand, Countess saw the entire ordeal in a much lighter light. Appearing on the Vibe talk show hosted by Sinbad, the beef between her and Brandy was highlighted yet again. But compared to Brandy's segment in Vibe magazine, Countess was singing a different tune, quite figuratively and literally. Countess explained that Brandy's interview for the mag was more exaggerated than the laugh tracks on their show, and that tabloids and whatnot tend to take a snippet of someone's statement and twist it into something completely different. Something we all know has been done to countless others and counting. She went on to say that her and Brandy, along with the rest of their Moesha peers, were like a family, and the two specifically were like sisters, if anything. Co-host Shar Jackson basically confirmed this in a clip where she says that they have all probably called each other the B word at least once while on set. Amid Countess's exit from Moesha, it had been discovered that the show's co-creator, Vida Spears, whose resume speaks for itself, had been fired from the show nearing the series' last 2 seasons. Vida, who was responsible for being the show's showrunner, in charge of the creative direction, has dipped her toe into a plethora of shows on and outside of the UPN network. Shows such as 227, Married with Children, and Family Matters, just to name a few. In regards to her firing, it's been said that she was let go due to creative differences between her and Brandy's then momager, Sonia Norwood. Power struggles ensued, and creative direction of the show held some resistance between the Norwoods and Vida. Allegedly, Sonia wanted the show to take a major turn during its later years, which would take Moesha from family-friendly comedy content to somewhat of an urban bootleg soap opera. As we know by now, Vida Spears had lost this battle, and the Norwoods would have their wishes granted, and it's evident during the series finale. Unfortunately, Vida had instead hopped on sister show The Parkers, starring Countess and Monique, and the show eventually took over Moesha in ratings, ultimately leading to Moesha's downfall. What made matters even worse was that the cast themselves seemed to know deep down that Moesha was coming to a closure when Ray J's character Dorian went from being Frank, the dad's nephew, to being his actual biological son that Frank had when he engaged in an affair throughout his first marriage to Moesha's mother. It was said that Brandy was not on board with Countess getting her own spin-off series, although we've seen Brandy visit Countess on set of The Parkers even after the supposed beef. One example being when Brandy went to visit Countess on her set during the night of the Grammys, in which Brandy herself was nominated for. She'd, however, skipped the ceremony, surprising Countess with a bouquet of flowers and congratulating her on her new series. Brandy and Countess's relationship overall seemed to be a genuine friendship that turned slightly sour, served with a side of tension and sprinkled with a covert of shade. The two hadn't spoken for years after the fact, but in 2015, that had all changed when Countess took to her Instagram out of the blue to post a picture of Brandy with a lengthy caption apologizing, calling Brandy a spiritual sister, and expressing how proud she was of the songstress, insisting that the public post was to show how much she stepped outside of her comfort zone. Part of the caption read, "I'm simply proud of you for placing one foot in front of the other, for waking up every morning and simply giving it your best shot. We've been through our ups and downs, highs and lows, but at the end of the day, I had to learn to find myself. Why not be friends when we're both talented? Why call you names when you're just an amazing person? I apologize for anything negative I've ever done or said to you." Brandy replied back to the post expressing gratitude and appreciation in somewhat of a lengthy response of her own. "Oh, Countess, my heart is touched right now. You are beautiful to me. Always have been and always will be. I am so thankful that we had such an amazing journey together as artists and as sisters growing up and growing through the pressures of being child stars. I would love to start a new friendship with you with new heads on both of our shoulders. It will also be great to work together again. Without you, Moesha would not have lasted as long as it did. I love you." The beef between the two seemed to have been a case of young talent being pinned against each other, with comments being taken out of context and instigated by the supposed adults around them, the beef between the two seemed to have been a case of young talent being pinned against each other, with comments being taken out of context and instigated by the supposed adults around them, which is what I always say, a tale as old as time. Whether they halted communication due to their petty beef or their busy schedules, it's safe to say the two are now on cordial terms. But this stale Moesha tea was a beef many didn't even know ever happened. Nothing like a behind-the-scenes, overly dramatized feud to get the tabloids rolling. So what do you think? Let us know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments section. And stay tuned for more true celebrity stories.